The title that you've put in there matters. Of course, the description matters as well, but those categories are part of what makes your art more searchable. This is episode 18 of our Zoom marketing workshop series, and our focus today is navigating the new Marin Open Studios website. So today I'm just going to kind of walk you through what we're going to need you to do as an artist for 2022 to maximize your bio and to make sure that your artwork is searchable and that you have as many different resources and information available on your page as possible. The first thing we will cover is your password reset. If you are already an artist with us, meaning that you were registered in 2021, that means that with this new website, your profile has already been rolled over into this one. So it's just a matter of gaining access and updating it. You don't have to start from scratch. The password reset is really the fastest way for you to just get into the system and access that existing account and start updating it. For anybody who's on here who has not been a Marin Open Studios artist in the last year or ever, we will also cover the registration process for 2022, including how you go about making your payment. Once you've gained access to the website, you will be updating your profile and your bio and your photo, and we ask for you to have those things ready to go when you register so that you can immediately update it with the basic information. Updating your artwork is, the artwork is a separate section from where you would update the rest of your profile information. So we'll show you that, linking your social media, and then embedding a video. For those of you that already have an artist video on YouTube, I can show you how to copy and paste your YouTube link into that field, and then you will have a plain website video on your Marin Open Studios artist page, which is super cool. I think that's just like one of my favorite things about the website updates so far that I've observed is the fact that you can have a video right there when people first discover you on the website. And so when you come to the website, we'll have this fun little thing pop up, talking about the Bon Air pop-up show. You want to pay attention to these menus at the top, specifically this bright red button that says for artists, and then further in the upper right corner, this little gray button that when you hover your cursor over it, it says login/register. So these are the two buttons that are meant to just help you get straight to where you need to go. If you were to click login and register, the gray one, that's the fastest way to reset your password. So for those of you on the call today and watching the recording, if you are already a 2021 Marin Open Studios artist, which means your profile has been transferred over to this new website, click on this gray button in the upper right corner. You'll get a pop-up and it'll give you the option to log in, username and password, or forgot my password. And when you click forgot my password, it opens up to a new window where you just enter the email and click reset password. I myself have more than one email, so I know sometimes there might be a concern as to which email you use for the Marin Open Studios website. So any email that's in our system that you enter here, that'll be sent a notification. So if you enter an email and you're not sure and you don't get a notification, try another one. But just know that this is the fastest way, is that gray button. Once you reset your password, you'll open your email, you'll see the password from us. You click that, you click the button, it puts you through, you enter a new password, and then you're in. For more detailed information about registration and about the different steps that you should be taking to complete your profile, go to the red button that we saw at the top first that says for artists. When you click that button, you'll see a menu here on the left, artist links. And the very first underneath registration is instructions, how to register and update your profile. So this page on our website is the most comprehensive page for everything you need to know, including what we're covering today. So I'm still going to walk you through the process through this screen share, but I just want you guys to know that when you go to the site and you hit the For Artists page, and then you hit instructions, you're going to have everything you need on this page, absolutely everything, but we'll scroll through real quick just to show you. Set up your password and register, update your profile, manage your artwork, add your personal events. That's the summary, right? As a reminder to people on the call, right now, it is currently January 24th. In 6 days, on January 30th, that is the deadline for two things. One is early bird registration, which means that you save a whopping $25 when you register by the 30th. Once that date passes, as of January 31st, general registration is $320. So if you want to save a little money, do it before the 30th, do it now. Also, when you register by the early bird date, that secures your spot in our artist tour guide, our printed glossy color tour guide that gets distributed to 30,000 plus Marin County residents through Marin Magazine. You want to be in this tour guide, you got to be in this tour guide. If you have a brick and mortar studio that you pay for month to month, year to year, this is the tour guide. Save that money and get that spot. This is the time. This week, you got 6 more days. Go for it. Like we just talked about, resetting your password. Once you've reset your password and gained access, you see there's a link here that says pay for 2022 here. When you click that, it'll bring up a separate little payment window and it'll show you these two options that I just described to you. Early registration for $295, select. General registration, $320. So as of January 31st, when you come to this page, this option will not be available. It'll be grayed out or it'll just be gone, but you won't be able to select it. So this payment page that we're on right now, when you press select, let's say early bird, and it takes you to that registration checkout, including your credit card information. You can also check out with PayPal, which is super cool. I'm a PayPal person. And then it's really just, you know, if it is credit card, the basic information, submit and check out. So once we've done our registration process as a returning artist, you're in, we'll update your profile, getting to that in a minute. For the people who are new or who were not a 2021 artist, it's a slightly different step. You got to register from scratch. You still pay the same money, it's the same fee, especially if you do the early bird, you still get the early bird rate if you're brand new or if you haven't recently been an artist, but it's just a different process because we do not currently have a profile for you on the website. So you have to register, you know, from the ground up. Once you've registered, you'll appear in the list of artists, which means you'll immediately be searchable. So we ask that you have a profile photo of yourself, your face, and your information ready to go when you register so that as soon as you make your payment and log in, that you don't have an empty ghost looking profile with just a little gray circle and a white head in the middle. You know what I'm talking about. Make sure that you have your ducks in a row when you're ready to fill out that profile. Because if you're a new artist and your info hasn't been carried over, it's a skeleton account. You got to build it from scratch. The last thing you want is for people to search you by name, think they're going to see art and nothing's there. So don't let that be something you just put off till later. Make sure when you register that you're ready to register and complete your profile, at least as far as that basic searchable information, so people can qualify you as an artist. And now we get to updating your profile. So in order to make any changes in your profile, you have to log in, right? You got to enter in that name and password. So once you've made your payment or reset your password and gained access and made your payment. So if I hit that gray button, I enter in. Now, this is what I was saying. It already has my username saved. because this is we are on my computer, my trusted device. So feel free to save your username. That'll of course make it a little bit easier for you to log in that you don't have to necessarily think of two things. You don't have to think of your username and your password. You just think of your password. Of course, if it's like a public computer or a friend's computer, don't save your name. Don't let it save your information. But if it's your computer or your phone, do it. So password, da, 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 da. And just so you guys know, it's one of those things where you will have to do a password with a certain number of units or digits and a special character and all of that. So make sure that you are coming up with a unique password that hits all those requirements. You can see here in the upper right corner, instead of that gray box for logging in, it now has a teeny tiny little avatar of my face and my name. When you take your cursor over there, it opens up a separate drop-down menu. So we have our little menu over here on the left with our instructions and everything else. But over here in the upper right, once you've logged in, that's where your personal artist menu is. And this is where you really, kind of go from there as far as filling everything out. So when we hit profile settings, which is the first one in your menu, I come from a journalism background, so your girl is loquacious. I am long-winded, so I have a long artist statement and a long bio, but I've seen longer. So don't be afraid to put in a good juicy amount of text into these two categories, artist statement and bio, because these are searchable sections of your website. What do I mean by searchable? I mean, anytime Google gets a search where someone says Sausalito, oil painter or mixed media artist, San Rafael. Anytime you have mixed media, San Rafael, Sausalito, oil painter in your written bio or artist statement, those terms will make it more likely for your Marin Open Studios profile to appear in a Google search. So don't be shy, don't be afraid to put some slightly longer paragraphs into both sections. I would say by distinction, just remember that the artist statement typically is written in the first person, I, me, and the bio is usually written in the third person. And then mediums or plural. I only work in acrylic paint. I know we have a lot of Marin Open Studios artists who are multi-talented, multi-hyphenated creatives, if you will, so they might do a lot of things. Feel free to select more than one, and just know that every medium you select in your profile as your category of art will help you show up in search. And then you can click these different sections here to the left and they'll open up each part of it for you, right? So that was about the artist. If you go to studio information here on the left, building name, studio unit number, studio address, location or visiting instructions, and COVID. So I, as many of you know, am actually based in San Mateo, which is not in Marin County. So I am not on the map of the tour guide. I'm working on being in a group exhibit this year, but I haven't updated it yet. So when you look at my profile, it just says by appointment only, because I don't have a brick and mortar studio or exhibit for anybody to walk into on either of the 2 weekends of Marin Open Studios or any other day of the week. For you guys out there who have a studio at ICB or a studio at MoCA or your own studio, just walk-in art studio, this is your geographic information. This is where you want to make sure that you've got all of it filled out. And when I say all of it, you want to make sure that, yeah, visiting instructions, tell them that, make sure you remind them that you're on the 3rd floor, right? Make sure that if you're at ICB and you're on the 3rd floor, tell them you're the 3rd floor at the end of the hallway. Put anything in there to help people find you. And then that'll ensure that you can, appear in search when people are like looking you up on like a driving app or that kind of thing. Contact information. So whether you have a brick and mortar studio or you're like me and you're by appointment only, you definitely want to make sure that your contact information is up to date. I have email address or I have phone number. I didn't put my website on here, bad me. But just keep in mind that, people will go to the site any time of day like your art, and then maybe want to contact you. So whatever methods of contact you're comfortable with, put them in here. Let people call you, let them email you, let them go to your website, but make sure this is filled out completely so that people can have options on how to contact you. And you'll see certain fields are required. So in these different categories of filling out your profile, make sure you pay attention to those required fields. Exhibitions and press. So I know some artists like to put past exhibitions and publications and stuff in their bio. Don't need to do that anymore. You can put it in a separate section of group exhibitions, publications, awards, press. Isn't that nice? Categorize it all out, segment it so that when people want to look at your accolades or when people want to see what good press you've had, they'll have a whole section they can go to, and it doesn't make your bio extensively long read on its own. You want to write those longer sections for the robots to scan, but you don't want to write so long sometimes with the accolades and awards that someone gets a little, overwhelmed. So putting it in that section is a great way to help people find out what your other, accolades and qualifications are. Education, same thing, right? You can go in your bio all day long about how many wonderful courses you've had in art, but you could just also put them in this section, and then that kind of makes it a little bit more like a resume on LinkedIn, right? So you can focus on other, maybe more inspiring verbiage for those other two sections. So that's it for profile settings as far as just getting that basic info. When we have account settings like email and password and notifications, you want to change your password, you want to be notified by email or in another way every time someone contacts you through your website, that kind of thing through this page. You can play with notifications there. We can just peek at it real quick just to see. So mentions, replies, messages, friendship requests. So this is essentially taking potential interactions that people have with your content on the website, and then the website notifies you or emails you saying someone on marinopenstudios.org commented on your artwork or mentioned you, right? So just keep that in mind that you don't necessarily have to have these on, but that's where that is in the settings. And then profile settings, which we just finished that part. Widget settings, which I know is one of the questions we already had in the chat. When we go to the additional information widget, so if you had something that didn't fall in the category of an award or an accolade or press or something else that you wanted to show visually about your art or your inspiration, maybe it's a picture of a mentor, maybe it's a artistic retreat. This is just another little side section where you can dedicate an inspo or a talking point about your history as an artist. And so it helps you to create, and I'll show you what it looks like, different sections going down the side or the bottom of your Marin Open Studios profile. That helps you to draw focus to certain things. So in the same way that there's a video player capability now on our artist pages, there are now these other little widget capabilities to kind of get people's attention. So studio and activity photos. I just want to be clear, I don't have a studio, so I don't have pictures of a studio to show. But if you have a studio, this is a great place to put them. I did pictures of my art, specifically commissions that are not for sale. So these show up in the profile in the studio activity photos section, even though I don't have a studio, right? So that's why I have these here, but you technically would do maybe a picture of the front of your studio, picture of the inside of your studio, picture of the outside of the ICB building if you're inside of it, right? Have a couple of different visual references for people to find you, especially if you're in a larger building of artists. The slideshow are rectangular images that play at the top of your Marin Open Studios profile page as an artist when people are on desktop. I believe it also plays on mobile, but it's primarily designed for desktop. So I'll show you what that looks like, but essentially anytime you have a cover photo or a banner at the top of a website, it's like that. You can have one and it just sits there. When people go to your page, that'll be at the top with your face, or you can have more than one, and that'll create a slideshow that after a set number of moments will switch to the next one. And so I've done human portraits and I've done pet portraits, so I did 2 different slides. I personally haven't put a quote on here yet, but again, it's just another fun little widget. If there's just like, a specific, a turn of a phrase that really inspires you as an artist, or something said by Frida or said by Pablo Picasso or said by someone you really, is kind of a cornerstone to your art career, or a quote by someone about you and your art, like an art critic or an art curator or a reputable, art expert. You could quote them and put a picture of their face. All these widgets are just different ways of you shaping the experience of your Marin Open Studios website and featuring different things to help you stand out, right? And to show your process. So here's the link section. This is where I was saying we don't currently have the capability of previewing your social media, but you can put either a website or a social media link here in the link widget, and that'll come up as a clickable link for people to go to. So I did one of my website pages, but it could be instagram.com/your name. Video. So you do need to have a YouTube channel, and you do need to have an existing uploaded YouTube video in order to use this functionality. I didn't get too long-winded in the video description, but you absolutely can. You can write a big, long description for your video. And again, these are just searchable terms for the Google robots trying to send people to your page. So the more writing, the better. I did a time lapse of my dog portraits in a series and put that on YouTube. So now people can see some of the behind the scenes work that goes into my acrylic pet portraits. But it could be a tour of your studio, it could be a small part of your process, it could be you hanging, framing, anything to kind of just show that human element and to give people some insight as to what goes on behind the scenes with your work. So as a reference, we know it's here on the menu. It says Instagram, but when you click it, it is yet to be enabled. Has some buttons on it. Looks promising, but there's nothing to fill out. So at some point, our webmaster will be making this a capability that will ideally link to your Instagram and or potentially preview and show what your most recent Instagram post is, that kind of thing, like linking it over. Until then, just know it's coming, which I'm excited about. You all know I'm an Instagram person, but that is coming. It's just not enabled yet. So this is a good breakdown so far, we're at the 30-minute mark, of what you can do to update your profile. The last part I mentioned earlier, it's a little counterintuitive, but we'll figure it out together, is adding artwork. So when you go to this gray square menu at the top, so instead of having words, they're more symbols, but when you take your cursor over it, it shows you what it is. So this one looks like a house. You put your cursor on it, it says home. If I were to tap that, it'd be home, like the front page of the website. The next one over is view profile, as in view my own artist profile. And this is how you get to the artwork and events sections to update. And then social networks, we covered that below. Profile avatar is uploading your photo. So before we get to artwork, we'll cover that. Profile cover, like I said, it could be a single cover or it can be a slideshow, and then log out. So this is a little extra menu here in gray squares that kind of mimics the menu up here, because you can also log out, change avatar, change cover photos. So it's almost the same menu, right? But this one's drop down and this one's little buttons. When we press either profile avatar here in the gray menu or in the upper right corner menu, it'll take you to here. And you can select your file, as in go into the files of your computer, or you can drop a file, right? So if you'd like to delete the existing photo, but not upload a new photo, please use the delete tab. Please don't do that because we want you to have a photo. So if it's an old photo, a new photo, please have a photo on there versus not having a photo on there. Take photo, there is an option to do that if you enable access to your camera, so smartphone or laptop. And then once you've uploaded that and updated it, it'll show up here at the top of your menu. It'll show up in the upper right corner, and of course it'll show up on your profile. So here we are at the profile. You see my photo at the top and the about section, which is all filled out, the artist bio and everything. Here are the slides showing these two different collages, right? The human collage and the pet collage. Here's the weekends, them participating, even though I don't have a studio yet. Here's my video. If I were to press that video, it plays right there, which is so cool. You don't have to go to YouTube. You don't have to leave the website. It is embedded into the page. So that means that people don't have to be taken elsewhere, right? They can stay right where they are and watch the video right in place. I don't have anything filled out for events because, like I said, I'm working on getting a space for Marin Open Studios itself. But at this point, if you had your own openings or galleries you're showing in or different shows you're participating in, or it could even be your own little post about the Bon Air show that we're having right now. If you're one of the artists in that, that could be here. And then artwork. Once you select to update your artwork, you have 3 different options: browse, add, or manage. I've got one that's for sale and one that is a commission. If I were to click the one that's for sale, it gives you all of the information, including how much it is, what size it is, and all of the different fields that you would fill out for that. If you were to click the one that was a commission that's not for sale, it's all of that, but no pricing information. So you would add artwork if you haven't added any. For me, I would manage. My 2 paintings are there to view, edit, or delete. And it shows you when you last, were up there, as well as any pricing information. So the one that was pricing is $4.50, and then this one doesn't have a price because it's not for sale. When you hit add artwork, you would again browse for files or drop a file from your desktop of your art. And then a description, price, location, all of that information is listed once someone clicks on the artwork from your art section. You can see there's a category. These are kind of interesting. If you think there's a certain room in the house that would be ideal for your art, you can do that here. Art medium, color and theme, local imagery, right? You're doing a lot of beach and coastal, doing a lot of, bridges, that kind of thing. Price point, on commission, style, subject. So these are all different fields you can fill out that makes your artwork more searchable when someone's looking for landscapes, when someone's looking for coastlines, when someone's looking for 2-dimensional art, right? So keep that in mind anytime you put artwork up here, try to fully complete all of these different little categories to help it show up. The title that you've put in there matters, of course, the description matters as well, but those categories are part of what makes your art more searchable. So we have covered resetting your password, registering for 2022, including your payment options, updating your profile and your bio, updating your artwork, linking your social media, which is really just putting a link in the link widget that we covered, and embedding a video, the YouTube video. So I'll cover the video part. So when I go to my profile settings and I go to my widgets, because video is a widget. And so you can see I already have a link in here. So if you're not sure if you have the right link or what link to use, I can go here, copy this link from what's already in the field, open a new tab, paste it, and there it is. There's my video. So once you copy and paste that link into your browser, you should be able to go straight to that YouTube video. That's how you know it's the correct link for the widget. and then you just press save changes and it's there. And then when you go to your profile, look on the right-hand side if you're on desktop, otherwise on smartphone, it's a little different. And you'll see the video widget here on the right-hand side, ready to play, ready to watch. And that is our recap of the basics for our website. I'm going to look at the chat. I have questions about the widgets. I couldn't find a live place to click to add my Instagram. So Melissa, thank you for your question. I hope we covered that. The Instagram part is not live yet, but it's there. So don't be discouraged, it's coming, but it's not currently enabled. Melissa also said, the website seems a little slow to me. Does that happen for anyone else? I mean, Melissa, I've definitely had a couple times since navigating the website this month where it will be slower than other times. Part of that is that we have a lot of artists going on and updating their artwork right now. So there is a little more traffic happening and more uploading of content, but also we're constantly still improving and updating it. So we appreciate your patience. We know that the ideal is to have speedy, fast website that loads immediately when you click it. And so we're still striving to that, of course, but for now, you know, sometimes it runs a little slower just based on how much we're updating it with these new capabilities and this new artist content. My email address is shown as my name on my profile. How do I change that? Great question, Jen. Let's take a look. When you go to profile settings, contact information, and you can change it full name as you would like to appear publicly on your profile. So you should be able to take care of that there. Patricia says, I registered before I had my photo or profile ready. Do I just follow your instructions for updating the profile, etc.? Yes, Patricia, please follow the instructions from today's session and then let us know if you have any questions if for whatever reason, as far as connecting one to the next. What are the dimensions for the cover image? Excellent question. Profile cover. For best results, better results, make sure to upload an image that is larger than 1350 pixels wide and 350 pixels tall. So that is 1350 wide and 350 tall, larger than that. And that's just to make sure that it doesn't blur, but also that it can be adjusted to different devices. When someone's looking on their computer like I am right now, it'll be wide. When someone's looking on their phone, it'll be, of course, not as wide, especially if they're holding it vertically. So 1350 by 350 minimum. Oh, and then Jen, what's the size of your collage banner? I just go on to Canva, right? We go to canva.com, Canva, probably Twitter cover photo. Twitter header. Yep, there we go. This, of course, has a bunch of fancy designs, but you would just hit a plus and then you can add a bunch of your images in here. If you go to uploads, right, and you pick a couple images. This is an image by Marin Open Studios artist Anne-Marie de Rivera, right? And then you can pick, this is a piece by Marin Open Studios artist Georgette Osserman. Right, so you do a couple different ones like that and so on, and you line them all up and then you hit not publish to Twitter, but you would just download it. And then you can have a nice little backdrop that you can create there. We could have a whole session on Canva, but essentially if you go to canva.com, enter Twitter header, that'll give you the right ratio, and then you can make your banner from here any way that you want. Can you load a Vimeo or YouTube virtual without having a video YouTube account? Jessica, no, unfortunately. In order to use the widget for video, it has to be a YouTube link. Or I could be wrong. Check the list of supported websites. Vimeo, I was wrong. But we're going to have to get back to you on whether or not all of these other ones work, right? Facebook, Instagram, but Your YouTube videos and your Vimeo should be fine. There are 2 email addresses, Wendy says, a private one and the public one. Thank you, Wendy, for stating that. So Jen, that probably had to do with your question. You will have an email that you use to log in. That can be different than the email that you post on your profile as your contact information. How do you know which image will be in the art guide? Is it the first image on your page? Eileen, excellent question. So yes, when you look at your artwork, you'll see that one of them is at the top, if you will. And when I say at the top, that means that if you're looking at it from your phone and it gets stacked, right? It's the one that shows up first at the very top. So yes, that is the piece that will be shown. So if I choose not to change my profile between now and the 30th, this is the image that'll show up in the tour guide that's printed for April and May.
So that's the top left-hand side.
It's the top, and yeah, and when you go to manage your artwork, it'll have it listed top to bottom to help you. See how it has it here top?
Right.
And
oh, thank that.
Yeah, when you hit manage. Yeah. So if I were to delete this now, the Celine portrait would go to the top.
Okay.
Right? Oh, Jessica, thank you. She said more specifically, does it have to be her YouTube or Vimeo account for the video that's on the widget? No. Jessica, it does not have to be your own YouTube. It can be a video about your art published on someone else's YouTube. It just has to be published live and public on the internet already in order to play on the website. Can't be a private video. Can't be something where you need like a login or a password for it. So yes, it can be on someone else's account as long as it's public. Do I have to use a phone number in the site? Isn't an email enough? So, okay, I see here that we do have phone number as required. If specifically, Jessica, if you are uncomfortable having your phone number listed on the website, we can talk to Wendy about maybe finding a loophole for that part of the website. An alternative, if you're concerned about privacy and that kind of thing, is that I and a lot of people do have what's called a Google phone number, which means that you don't have to have people directly call your cell phone number or smartphone number. They can call this other number on the internet, and then that website, basically Google, forwards the number to you or forwards the call to you, right? So if it's a question of people actually having your 415 something, and you want to still be reachable by phone, a Google phone number is a good way to go. Chris says, how many art images can we add? Chris, I'm pretty sure it's like unlimited, you know, like as many as you like. Keep filling it in there. I don't think we have a cap on that, so go wild. If there were a limit, I feel like there would be some indication here on our page for adding artwork. So I'd say go for it, add as much as you want. Oh, and then Wendy, our website person, actually says that she can change the field in our website to not make it required for you to add your phone number. So stay tuned. Next time you log in, she might be able to make that already a functionality where you don't have to put a number in at all. But Google numbers are cool too, right? Kay Carlson just wanted to chime in and say it is difficult to reach artists if there is a sale and no phone number, which I agree. I've actually had times where I couldn't find an artist's studio, and calling them from the number in the tour guide was the only way that I actually found them. Like, you know, the map didn't take me to the right place. So when we go to your Marin Open Studios page and you hit events and it says you are currently viewing your public page, this is what other users will see. And so right now I'm only showing the 2, you know, events that are the whole, you know, Marin Open Studios weekends. Wendy, how do we add events?
Yeah, it looks like for some reason at this moment, when you go to your events section on your profile, you're not being shown the ability to add or edit your events. And I am uncertain why, but
Okay.
it would look very similar to the add your artwork options. So I'm
Yeah, that's what I recall seeing before. So if everybody's on this call that's like, why is she going around in circles and she's not finding it? It's like, because I recall coming here and seeing a field basically that said, you know, enter in your events here, that kind of thing. We will get back to you guys with an updated little how-to on how to find that, because like we said before, we've got a really great page that shows you, our For Artists page shows you all of the steps for everything that you need to do to complete your profile. So when we go to instructions again, right, our little artist links, and we scroll down, option to add your personal events. Let's see if we have it here. Update your profile, which we covered. Artist statement, contact info. We have your 2 weeks that you're signing up for, or that you're, you know, putting if you're available for one or both weekends. Adding and editing your artwork, which we covered. And personal events. When you go to your profile and just next to artwork, you'll see your little events tab. You should be able to then manage your events from there and add new. So stay tuned for updates on that. And we appreciate your patience as we, you know, obviously we want to streamline that process so that you guys can start putting all your 2022 events in there leading up to the bigger event in April and May. How about downloading artist statement and bio? Is there a way rather than typing it all in? Oh, so Jessica, there isn't a functionality for, I think what you meant to say was uploading the artist statement or bio, but I would probably just copy and paste. Yes.
Hello. I tried that and the formatting was kind of wacko.
Oh.
Yeah. So I ended up typing a fair amount in, and then at the bottom of it, just saying, please see my website for a complete resume, because it just got so tedious.
It looks here, if you look here also with artist statement and bio, there's a visual and there's a text. So that means that maybe next time paste it into the text one instead of the visual one, and then reformat it from there.
Oh,
It's, you know what, because the visual is just, it just means that, you know, you can make here B, for instance, means bold, right? So if you said like, as a self-taught artist and you wanted that to be bold, you can format it, and then that's code. Now that is internet code that goes there, right? But then you go to visual and that's what it looks like to someone logging in. So this is just a little bit of HTML, like it's actual difference of code and what people see on the website. So that might be why it was wonky, is you might have pasted it into the one that's supposed to show you what it looks like instead of the one that shows you formatting and, you know, where you can add a link and italics and that kind of stuff.
okay, got it. Thanks.
You're welcome. For anybody, like I said, who wants to connect with me on the internet outside of these workshops, my Instagram is Caron Mod Media. If you were to pick up your smartphone right now during this call and take a picture of your screen where you see this QR code, it should direct you to my Instagram profile and make it easier for you to connect with me. So if you'd like to do that, if you're on there, go ahead. If you're on Facebook, my Facebook name is Caronita Bonita. And if you want to connect with me via my website, it's caronmodernmedia.com. I really appreciate you guys coming today and attending and asking questions. There are many benefits to being a Marin Open Studios artist, not just the weekends, not just the Corte Madera gallery, not just the pop-up exhibits like at Bon Air, but also just this whole community that we try to build around supporting the arts. You know, we are a big sprawling network of artists from every corner of Marin County and beyond. And so I found it to be a really inspiring and supportive community of creatives. And I myself am really looking forward to rocking it this year as Marin Open Studios artist and making the most of my profile page and the events available to me. Kay, are you coming? You still got that unmute?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Mhm.
I don't know
Okay.
what the deal is here. Yes, we are really busy generating some publicity. We have Hamilton Inc. is going to be doing publicity for us this year. And there's just lots of things going on. And I believe that Wendy is going to get the rest of your classes on our website, Caron. We just talked about that right before this tutorial. So, and if anyone knows any artist who needs a place to show, please call me. There are new places opening up right now. It's actually a very exciting time. So including you, Caron, give me a call right after this. And usually it's the reverse. Usually we don't have enough places for artists. Now we have more places. So get on it, get your friends. All right, enjoy yourselves, everybody. Make some more artwork for May.
Please do email us if you have any ideas for future workshops. And if you have any other concerns about the website that we didn't get to today, let us know. All right, guys, have a wonderful evening.